Well, I'm done. I mean, how can you add to that? How can you add? Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard to add to that. But, well, isn't that the truth? The only thing that exists is love. Love is all there is. It's in every cell of our body. It's all a part of everything. It's the beating of our hearts. It's the 200,000 times a day that we breathe. That's love. And that's button number 1, and that's why I wore this shirt, because this is button number 1. Love is all there is. We have created everything else ourselves because we are made in the image and after the likeness of love itself. But because we are in this world, and because this month we're talking about the power of release, sometimes called renunciation. That's a big word. We've been talking about the 12 powers all year long, and we're up to release, which is interesting because look at how the trees are teaching us to release and let go, to rest a while so that we can have new buds growing within us. But instead, we get caught up in this world, caught up in thinking that it can't be so. So we have another button that we push. It's a great big one, and it's called fear, the button of fear. It's life is happening to me. It's coming at me. I'm anxious. I don't know what to do. There's so much going on in the world. Instead of life is happening for me, for my good, for my growth. And it's not until we get tired of that we understand what freedom is, what peace feels like, and how to be grateful. So this morning, the first slide I'm going to show you is the power of release. Good. I'm finished showing you that. Now I'm going to show you the next one, a new pathway. Oh, the title of what I'm talking about today. But I want to get to what Jesse said this morning, which is, fear, you do not own me. Say it. Fear, you do not own me. I don't have time for you. There is no room in this story. I am strong and free. What a powerful song this morning. And Jesse really did it. He really got into it. There's no doubt about it. There's a handout, so you'll get to see that later, okay? Yes, I am strong. And when I'm in that place of letting go of fear of looking stupid, fear of what other people are going to say about me, fear of being taken advantage of, fear of failure. What a word that is, failure. What if we forever changed that word to outcome? It was just an outcome. That would be releasing and letting go of fear right off the bat if we didn't have that word in our vocabulary. I often think of Viktor Frankl and the situation that he was in a concentration camp. And he said, I'm free. Didn't know when he was going to be fed and didn't know when he was going to be executed, if he was going to be. But there was no way that he was going to give his freedom away. Nobody can take that away from us. Nothing and no one is against you. And he knew that and lived it, and we know he believed it because he made it out. Now, renunciation means to voluntarily give up something, to relinquish, or to let go of something desired. Something desired like the need to be right. I'm not talking about what we did when we were kids, if we were raised Catholic, give up candy during Lent. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something much bigger. That need to be right, that no matter what it is, I'm always right. Why do we need to be right? It's fear, we know that. But sometimes it's because we think we know better, and no matter what it is, we're just going to be that way. And then sometimes, yes, sometimes we think we're better than everybody else. And so we have that fear within us that we keep going. Jesse, come on up here for a minute. You haven't been up here enough today yet. Come on up here. And let's play a right-wrong game. Okay. Want to?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm still a little winded from the song, though, so go easy on me.
You're young, honey. That is not going to work with me. That will not work. I'm winded. Okay. Let's play a right-wrong game here. So, you know, with this, we usually go, I'm right, and then you pull back and you say,
right. I'm right.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're wrong.
Oh. All right. I'm right.
I'm right.
No, I'm right.
No, I'm right.
Oh. No, I'm right.
I'm right.
You're not winded. I'm right. Okay. What happens when we play a game like that? What happened to you?
Well, I noticed you had an advantage because this is slanted up. So. Otherwise, I would have won. So it makes me feel competitive, which is something I really haven't felt in a long time, especially since being in spiritual community. I haven't felt that nature of being involved in something where there can only be one winner. So.
So everybody's a winner. Everybody's a winner. Yes. Okay, thank you, Jesse. So releasing or renunciation means giving up something that doesn't work in your life, right, Jesse? It doesn't work in your life. It doesn't work in your life. So it's giving up an aspect of yourself that you may desire to have because you finally realize you're not living in your integrity. You're not living in this person that you were created to be. You recognize it to the point that you, as Jesse said in the song, get sick and tired of what's not working so that you can release it. But fear of the unknown, once you release it, is scary too. And when that happens, that's when we need to, the song that we did, the pre-song, Lean on Me. That's when we go into meditation. That's when we lean on God. We lean on who we are. I want to give this up. It's really scary for me. This is what I'm used to. But instead, I go within and have an honest talk. You know, a come to Jesus meeting, you know, where I say, this isn't serving me. This isn't serving me. Help me, God and Holy Spirit, to see and to believe who I truly am. It's interesting. A couple of weeks ago, I received a book. Wait till you hear this. It's a book for ministers on antagonists in the church. Every church has at least 3 at any given time. Okay. And absolutely, they are in every organization. We've all known them in our lives. And it's interesting because the book was saying, you poor ministers, you keep turning the other cheek while the person has this need to stir the pot in the church and make things look like they're not what they are. Stirring the pot. Saying, you know what, it just doesn't feel right. It's too good here. So I'm just going to dig up something. I bring that up because guess what? We're antagonists within ourselves. Don't we antagonize ourselves with this talk that's not good? this talk, this rigid thinking that we have, thinking that the world is happening to us, coming at us instead of for us. And it's time to push the button. And what does the button say? Okay. You're going to have to convince me a little later. I'm going to let it go for right now, though. We have to stop judging ourselves, and we have to stop judging other people. And we have to get into the flow of life, that life is happening for us. Everything is here for our good. Life is a classroom. We're all in the classroom together. And we're on different levels in the classroom, right? Some of you freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior. Some of you have years and years and years still in the classroom, right? It's a place where we learn about who we truly are. It is that power to release that stems. I'm not doing well with this today. Oh, I have it upside down. You know, for weeks I've been doing well. Wait a minute, let me get caught up. No, I'm totally lost. I'm just going to tell you. Let me see what's there. The power, look at these darling children releasing. Releasing stems from a power of wisdom. Thank you, Andrew, for putting those cute little children in this week. Yeah, the power of releasing stems from a place of wisdom, understanding, and a desire for personal growth. I'm back on with you now. Thank you for being so patient. And, do I have it right again now? Let's see. Yeah. Releasing is about finding the balance between enjoying the world and yet not being attached to it. Staying in the world, knowing that it brings us pleasure, but to stop looking for it to bring us happiness because it just isn't going to last. We have to get in touch with finding the wonder of what it's like to be a little child. Now, we have to get away from a terminal illness that we have. Are you ready? We have to stop becoming grown-ups. We have to enjoy who we are and that childlike nature that is within each one of us. And I said childlike, not childish, because we all know how to be childish. I'm talking about what Jesus said, that unless you become like little children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. What did he mean? The kingdom of heaven is right here. It's our thoughts. It's not up there somewhere. It's right here. It's what we think. Thoughts become things. One of the things that Unity teaches right off the bat. What you hold in your mind produces. You become that. So Jesus is saying, just be childlike and let go of needing to be right and really release any deep personal thing that is going on for you by going into that personal deep journey yourself. That dark night of the soul we talk about, or again, to come to Jesus meeting with ourselves. It's about honestly understanding what truly matters and to make a conscious choice to align our lives with values we thought we would never have, like the value of patience. I personally never thought I'd be patient in my life. I stopped asking for patience because then what happens when you do that? Situations come in your life all the time where you have to keep practicing it, right? So you don't ask for patience, you be patient. So something like patience and understanding, wisdom, all of these are so important. When we realize that it just doesn't do it for us anymore, just as the beginning of the song, you're not a part of this story anymore, fear. I'm going to stop pushing that big fear button and allow it to get a little smaller. It's about letting go surrendering and releasing. Just let go. Let go like the beautiful leaves. Let go of the trees. We have to let go of toxic relationships. We have to stop letting ourselves always be in judgment of ourselves and others. And when we're able to do that, there's a sense of peace that comes, an inner peace that feels really good. And I know you've all been there and you've all felt it. So why do we antagonize ourselves? Why don't we give it up? Oh, I can't give it up. When I was a little kid, my mom told me that I was diagnosed with a chemical imbalance. And that's what I have in my life, and I just can't get away from it. That's who I am. Or we say, I had a father who, oh my gosh, he was a perfectionist. And all I did in my life was try to be perfect, to the point that I married a perfectionist. Or I have OCD. I can't help it. That's just the way I am. It takes commitment to change. It takes a belief in yourself to change. It takes, I'm sick and tired of not being all that I can be. And I hold on to a belief that something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. I just can't change. I hear what you're saying up here, Reverend Eileen, but I've tried it. When I've given things up before, what's happened is I felt weird. This feels weird. I feel peaceful. Wow. I feel a little free right now. I don't care what anybody's thinking about me right now. I feel really good. And I'm grateful for that feeling. I'm grateful to be able to feel that. But wait a minute. The other shoe is going to drop. It's happened before to me when I have felt that way, but the other shoe is going to drop. And that's what we do to ourselves. We go back to what's more familiar, the pain. Then to take that, believe in yourself enough, and make the change. And when we're able to do it, we feel great, and when we're not, we really feel awful. It takes a commitment to change. I love what Michael Singer said. Realize that you have a choice. You either constantly control life to compensate for your blockages being those thoughts you have of yourself that aren't the truth. I'm not smart enough, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too old, I'm too young, whatever. We either constantly control life to compensate for those blockages so that nobody really knows who we are. Fear, fear, fear. That button gets bigger. Or we devote ourselves to getting rid of those. And Michael Singer says, I love the fact that whatever happens here, if you are not being true to yourself, you say you want to be free. He asks, why would you want to spend all your time in the past trying to understand what happened to you years ago? There's nothing you can do to change the past. It actually enslaves you. And he invites us, in all the books that he's written and all the experiences that he has had, is to let it go and to be in the present moment and enjoy who we are. Realizing that we do have that choice in front of us all the time. We need to become the observer of what we're feeling. Observe it, and then make a choice. But we have to be able to stop and do that, and at first when we do it, it takes a while. But the more that you practice that love button, pushing that love button instead of the fear button, you eventually are able to think very quickly, oh my God, here's this thought, I don't want to be made wrong, but this person's just trying to tell me something. We can do it quickly the more we practice. But we have to be in touch with the fact that we are the observer of our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. It's really about freedom. It's about being pure and simple and surrendering and standing in the face of fear and say, no, I have no room for you. You do not own me. The only thing wrong with you and me is that we think there's something wrong. And when we think there's something wrong, we have to keep it going. Here we go again. Forgetting we're the observer. And we keep it going again. And then what happens? We project it on others. Hey, if I'm miserable, you're going to be miserable too. You think I'm going to do this alone? Oh no. See what I can drum up for you. And it comes from that loneliness that we have inside, that sadness, the anxiety that we carry on things we have no control over. And it causes depression. And you know what? Many of us believe that something is wrong with us. And we feel like we need to share that with social media. I think I'm just going to let people know I'm really miserable. And I've got OCD. I can't help it. We love getting attention from other people to try to relieve that stress that we put on ourselves. So when we do that with our friends in social media and they write back, oh, you're cool. Oh, you're the best. You're wonderful. I don't know how you could ever think that about yourself. We feel good in that moment. But it doesn't last because once we've read them all, that's it. We don't realize that the answer is in here. It's not out there. It's interesting because I have an opportunity to talk to young people quite often in their late 20s and early 30s. And here's what they're saying, that compliments that aren't really meant, but we say it because we think we have to, they call it toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. You can't fool them. They know when you're out of integrity. I love it. They don't even care how old you are anymore. I was thinking I'm too old for this group to be talking to them. They don't care. They just want you to be honest. And don't do any toxic positivity talking. It's amazing. We put ourselves on a merry-go-round or a carousel and we call it pretty. All the horses that go up and down and we're riding on it and we call that pretty. It's to cover up the fear button that we need to push and make it a love button. And when we're able to do that, then we realize we're made in the image and the likeness of goodness, in the image and likeness of love, in the image and likeness of creativity, of wisdom, of stability, of imagination, of power, of patience, of audacity. We're made in the image and likeness of God. That's all we have room for. We don't have room for the fear. If we just stick with who we really are, fear goes away. Fear goes away. And if we don't, we actually drown in our limiting thoughts and our limiting beliefs. We feel worthless. We don't feel good enough. We keep looking on the outside of ourselves, afraid to look within. Because we're afraid if we do, there might not be anything there. But guess what? The only thing we have to do is go into meditation and ask. Because Jesus told us, it doesn't matter, I'm here 24/7. Whatever you need, just ask, and it will open to you. My beloved people, as I look at you out here, it actually brings me joy. It brings me happiness because I know you have a life raft within you. Really, it's a love raft. And when you're able to really allow that love raft to carry you, you're just lying back, and the world is happening for your good, not to you. We're living in transformative times, whether we believe it or not. We are. It's November already. How did that happen? The world is experiencing an evolutionary shift. Just look at the weather. There's a creative energy in our universe that is stirring us in our minds and our hearts, everywhere throughout the world, demanding that we awaken to new possibilities. Now, Jesus came over 2,000 years ago, right? He was a revolutionary. The Jewish people were afraid of him, and of course the Romans, they didn't know what to do with him. And what did he come for? New possibilities. We're still working on new possibilities, what Jesus came to teach. It's time for personal transformation. Significant changes in beliefs and values and habits and lifestyles. It involves us going within, introspection, self-discovery, realizing those gifts that we are. Because all is conspiring for your highest good, regardless of any situation or any circumstance you're in. Our work is to simply stay in the present moment and be the love we were created to be by remembering all these parts of us: love, patience, gratitude, abundance. I can go on and on. That's who you are. You aren't whatever you were programmed to be. You weren't even the author of it, by the way. You didn't even come into this world thinking something was wrong with you. Eleanor Roosevelt says, "No one or no thing can make you feel inferior without your consent." Quit giving people your consent and become who you are. You are the greatest and most important project you'll ever work on. I don't care what project you're working on. You are the greatest and most important project you will ever work on. You're going to have to recognize the fear. You're going to have to feel it. Don't deny it. Then restart, reset, and refocus yourself as many times as you need to. There's no limit. As many times as you need to. The first unity principle is God is all there is, everywhere present. God is all there is. Look at you smiling away, cutie. Yeah. So, what are we saying? Go ahead, let's hear it really loud now. Love is all there is. Absolutely. Amen. Now listen, have a wonderful week filled with love. That's it. We're done for now. Okay.